We live in an age where the food on our plates is a subject of intense debate. At the center of this storm lies an acronym that sparks both hope and dread: GMOs. The conversation is often framed as a battle between scientific innovation and public anxiety, science versus fear. Today, we are going to strip away the emotion and look at the hard facts behind the technology that is reshaping agriculture. First, we must establish a clear definition. What exactly is a GMO? The term stands for Genetically Modified Organism. It refers to any organism that has had its DNA altered using genetic engineering techniques. The primary goal of this alteration is to introduce beneficial traits from other organisms, creating capabilities that nature didn't provide on its own. Modifying our food isn't new. Humans have been doing it for thousands of years through a process called selective breeding. This traditional method involves crossing plants or animals over many generations to encourage desirable traits. However, this is a slow and imprecise process. It takes time, and you often get unwanted traits along with the good ones. Genetic engineering represents a leap forward from selective breeding. Instead of waiting generations, scientists can now transfer specific genes between species directly. This method is vastly faster and highly precise compared to traditional methods. It allows us to target exactly the trait we want without the genetic baggage of traditional crossbreeding. The core technology behind GMOs is called Recombinant DNA Technology. This involves combining DNA from two different sources to create entirely new genetic combinations in an organism. It is essentially a cut and paste job at the molecular level, allowing us to rewrite the instruction manual of a living cell. To perform this editing, scientists use nature's own tools. First, they use restriction enzymes. These act as molecular scissors that cut DNA sequences at specific points. Once the DNA is cut, they use DNA Ligase. Think of this as molecular glue that joins the DNA pieces back together in their new configuration. But how does this new DNA get inside the plant? Scientists use vectors, which act as carriers to transport genes into cells. This leads to the transformation process. The recombinant DNA is inserted into the target cells, and if successful, these altered cells grow with the new, desired traits integrated into their biology. Let's look at one of the most famous success stories, Bt corn. This corn has been engineered to contain a gene that produces a natural toxin derived from the bacterium Bacillus thuringiensis, Bt. This toxin specifically kills corn borer larvae and other insect pests that would otherwise destroy the crop. The benefits of Bt corn extend beyond just saving the corn. Because the plant protects itself, it significantly reduces the need for farmers to spray chemical insecticides. This not only increases crop yields, but also improves safety for the farmers who handle fewer toxic chemicals. Another major application is herbicide tolerance. You may have heard of Roundup Ready crops. These plants are engineered to resist glyphosate, a broad-spectrum herbicide. This allows farmers to spray fields to control weeds without harming the crops themselves. The result is easier weed management and improved soil health through reduced tillage. GMOs aren't just about farming convenience. They can also save lives. Take golden rice, for example. This rice is engineered to produce beta-carotene, which the body converts into vitamin A. It was developed specifically to combat blindness in developing countries where vitamin A deficiency is a critical public health crisis. In some cases, GMOs are the only line of defense against extinction. The rainbow papaya is a prime example. It was engineered with resistance to the ring spot virus, a disease that was decimating papaya farms. This innovation effectively saved Hawaii's entire papaya industry from collapse. Despite these successes, public hesitation remains high. There are persistent health risk concerns, with fears revolving around potential allergies, toxins, and links to cancer. The media often amplifies this by labeling GMOs as frankenfood, a term that creates deep public worry and skepticism. However, the science tells a different story. GMOs undergo rigorous safety testing before they ever reach the market. In the United States, agencies like the FDA, USDA, and EPA conduct extensive assessments. This evaluation process includes testing for toxicology, nutrition, and potential allergens to ensure consumer safety. The scientific consensus is overwhelming. Major organizations, including the World Health Organization, WHO, the American Medical Association, AMA, and the national academies have confirmed the safety of these crops. There is currently no credible evidence of health risks associated with approved GMOs available on the market. While the science is sound, the economics raise valid questions. There are concerns about corporate control. A few large corporations dominate the global seed supply. Critics argue that the requirement for farmers to make annual seed purchases reduces their independence and consolidates power in the hands of too few. Environmentally, there are also risks to manage. One primary concern is gene flow. This occurs when transgenes escape via pollen to wild relatives of the crop. This could potentially lead to the creation of herbicide-resistant superweeds, which would be difficult to control. To mitigate these risks, a robust regulatory framework exists. The USDA ensures that crops are safe to grow. The EPA ensures environmental safety standards are met. And the FDA ensures that the final food products are safe for humans to eat. Furthermore, strategies like planting buffer zones are used to prevent gene flow, while continuous monitoring tracks ecological impacts. For the consumer, transparency is key. In the United States, new labeling requirements have been in place since 2022. Products containing GMOs must now carry bioengineered labels. This supports informed consumer choices, allowing individuals to shop according to their own values. In summary, the debate between science and fear continues. The scientific evidence shows that GMOs offer significant benefits in safety, nutrition, and yield. However, public concerns regarding corporate control and ethics remain valid points of discussion. Ultimately, an informed choice is the best choice, one that bases opinions on the scientific consensus rather than fear.